Before you can change a pattern, you have to be able to find it. And validation seeking is a particularly slippery pattern because it's so automatic. It's so woven into how we operate. The first thing AI can do is help you uncover that. Where does it show up in your life? When do you find yourself waiting for someone else's approval before you feel okay about a decision you have already made? It might be at work, holding back an idea until you're sure someone else will support it, or in your relationship, saying yes to things that you don't want to do because someone will be disappointed if you don't. Use this prompt with Google Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude to reveal your pattern. I want to understand where validation seeking shows up in my life. In which situations do I find myself waiting for other people's approval before I feel comfortable moving forward? Please help me look across different areas: work, relationships, creative projects, daily decisions, and identify the specific moments or patterns where I'm looking outward instead of trusting myself. AI is trained to keep the conversation going, so you can set a boundary if you need one. Just say something like, "I only have 30 minutes for this," or "Please ask me no more than 5 questions." What comes back will probably surprise you, not because it's shocking, but because it's familiar. You'll recognize it immediately. Now, here's what this looks like in practice, because the next prompt asks you to trace the pattern back to where it started. And I want to show you what that process looks like using my own answer. I want to be upfront about something. This is a topic I'm still working through. Probably will be for the rest of my life, because for me, it didn't start with a single moment. It started with 9 long years of training. You see, I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten through 8th grade. And if you've been through that, you probably already know what I'm about to say. Everything was about doing exactly what you were told. No talking in class. Raise your hand to get permission to throw out your empty lunch bag. Don't walk between 2 teachers having a conversation in the hallway, even if they're standing on opposite walls and there's nowhere else to go. I was a shy kid. I just wanted to do things right. I wanted to follow the rules, and I got very, very good at that. The problem is I'm still doing it, even now, even when the rules don't make any sense. My first instinct is to comply. I'm making progress, but it doesn't come naturally, because that structure was built into me before I was old enough to question it. When you've spent your entire life doing what other people told you to do, something strange happens. It gets hard to know where their thoughts end and yours begin. And even when you do have your own real opinion, the first instinct is to hide it, to survey the room before you say it out loud. That's what my answer to prompt 2 looks like. 9 years of being taught that compliance was the only acceptable way to exist. And that lesson has followed me into every room I walked into after that. Now it's your turn. Here's the prompt. Fill in the bracket with whatever feels true for you. School, family, dynamics, relationships, work environments where approval was conditional. Here's the prompt. Help me understand where my validation-seeking pattern might have originated. Here is what I know about my history, and describe in those brackets your relevant experiences. What might these experiences have taught me about safety, belonging, and approval? And how might those early lessons still be running in the background today? Understanding where a pattern comes from doesn't resolve it, but it removes the shame from it. And shame is often the thing that makes patterns hardest to break. Before we move on, if you're finding this helpful, please consider signing up for my monthly newsletter. Every new subscriber gets the free Midlife AI Starter Kit, 10 prompts to feel more like yourself again. The link is in the description below. Now, here's the question most people skip. What has seeking validation actually cost you? Not in theory, in your real life. the opinions you've never said out loud, the opportunities you didn't pursue because you weren't sure anyone would approve, the version of yourself you've been holding back, waiting for permission to let it out. This is the prompt that makes the pattern feel real in a different way, not just as a habit you have, as a choice you're making every day, whether you realize it or not. Here's the prompt. I want you to honestly look at what seeking validation has cost me. What opportunities might I have missed because I was waiting for someone else's approval? What parts of myself have I held back or hidden because I wasn't sure they'd be accepted? What decisions have I made or not made based on what others wanted instead of what I actually wanted? Help me see this clearly and honestly. This one can sting a little. That's okay. It's not meant to make you feel bad about the past. It's meant to make the present feel more urgent. Because once you can see clearly what the pattern is costing you, it becomes harder to keep paying that price without noticing. The last prompt is the most important one, and it's also the simplest. If you didn't need anyone's approval, if you already knew it was okay, what would you do? That's it. That's the question. And for a lot of us, just sitting with that question is very freeing, because the answer is usually already there. You already know what you want. You just haven't let yourself trust it. This prompt helps you practice. Not in real life yet, just on paper. In the safe space of a conversation with AI, one that isn't going to judge you or be disappointed or need anything from you in return. Here's the prompt. I want to practice making decisions without seeking validation first. Here is a situation in my life where I've been waiting for someone else's approval before moving forward, and then describe that situation. If I already knew it was okay, if approval was completely off the table, what would I actually do? Help me think through what that decision looks like and what it would feel like to trust myself here. What you're building with this prompt isn't certainty. You're building the muscle of trusting yourself. And like any muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. You won't stop the instinct overnight. After decades of conditioning, that's not how it works. But you can start to notice the instinct before you act on it. And eventually, more and more often, you can choose differently. Validation seeking isn't a character flaw. It's a survival strategy that outlived the situation it was built for. And the work of unlearning it isn't just about becoming someone who doesn't care about what other people think. It's about learning, slowly and perfectly, to care about what you think first. These 4 prompts can help you see the pattern clearly enough to start. I'd love to know where this lands for you. Drop a comment below and tell me, in what area of your life do you most often look to others for permission? And next week, we're shifting from the internal work to something more action-oriented. If you've ever asked yourself whether it's too late to build something of your own after 50, you won't want to miss this. Hit the subscribe button so you'll get the notification as soon as it's posted. I'll see you there.